West Florida Daily News. I'm sitting here with local filmmaker, writer, director, Javan Garza. He's got a new movie coming out, Melany, a psychological thriller that's going to debut at Suds and Cinema in Fort Walton Beach on March 22nd. Javan, thank you for being with us. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you for having me.
Good, we don't usually get a lot of filmmakers up in here, but we are excited to have you talk about the movie, talk about you, talk about, the process there. Now, you're from Crestview, is that right?
That's right.
So you grew up in Crestview.
Did, yeah, went to CHS.
Yeah, you grew up. How was that growing up in Crestview? Is there even a movie theater in Crestview?
There was a small one growing up, a really small one that I remember. It had like 3 screens, but now there's a 10 screen that's pretty much my home theater. And I think I'm fairly familiar with the manager there and everything, go there all the time, so.
Do you have a pretty concrete memory of the first time you went to go see a movie like in a theater, or what's your first memory of, I always like asking people, like, what's your first memory of the movie you saw, or not the first movie you saw, just like, what's your first like concrete idea of being in a theater watching a movie?
In the theater, not so much. We were more of like a stay-at-home watch things on VHS family.
He's 30, let me put this out there. He's 30, so he spent the last 10 years streaming. It's a whole different generation. What's the movie experience that kind of puts you on this path?
Man, it's gotta be Planet of the Apes for me. Like sitting down on the couch, I remember that clearly watching Planet of the Apes with my dad. And like seeing that ending and just being like, what has humanity done? We killed ourselves, man. The apes have taken over, and like
not the Marky Mark version.
No,
this
heck
is the
no.
1968 Roddy McDowell,
Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Man, that movie still has an impact on me like so much. And Alien, watching Alien with my dad, like all those movies I should not have been watching at such a young age, like.
Good pair. That's a good pair. Right?
Yeah.
At what point did you start thinking that I want to get into this? Like I want to try to make a career of this or try to do something like this.
12 years old.
Yeah.
At 12 years old, I was like, we were sitting there watching movies with my dad, because that was my first connection with him, was through films. Because he was such a hands-on garage guy, born under a car basically. And so I didn't understand that way of life, because I was always, playing video games with my brother and stuff. But sitting down with him, having those moments of watching movies was like, that's a way to kind of like connect with him, and that's how I connect with people now. Is like talking about films and talking about cinema, and it was just something I always loved, just being able to create a moment and create a memory for somebody, whether it be scary or happy or whatever it comes that way. I really just want to create an experience for people.
Let's talk about Ridley Scott first. Like what you take from him, what do you think of, first of all, what's your favorite Ridley Scott movie, I guess?
Man, it's got to be a toss-up between Alien and Blade Runner. I love his science fiction work, and just visually what he does, especially at that time, nobody else was doing. Everyone was too scared to go just visually that dark. And what he did with Alien was this simplistic story of, it's a haunted house movie, basically, but set in outer space. And he made those characters relatable and real. And where it's like there's no sort of highfalutin language or something. It's a very everyman stuck in a situation dealing with, the perils of life and drama, and also seeing that strong female lead, which is something, as a young man, I always looked at my mom for inspiration. And then you see someone that's also a woman, and you're like, wow, like that's not something I see all the time. I'm seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone like flexing their muscles, but here's this woman who's able to maintain and capture your interest and make it all the way to the end, and not just be a pretty face and something to look at.